Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the stream. How's it going? Phil here live for you for a full day of fun gameplay streaming yet again. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of June, 2021. Got a lot to cover and talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful new day. I hope you guys are excited for the stuff that's going to be on the stream today. Welcome, welcome. First of all, I hope I find you all well and ready for some gaming goodness today, right? Lots of good stuff to talk about today, actually. I'm in a very good mood. Let's jump right into the good news. First of all, yesterday was my very first day of having a sub-only mode here on the stream on YouTube. And let me tell you guys something. Having subscriber-only mode enabled, wow. It's like night and day from how it was when I first started streaming here on YouTube about 3 weeks to a month ago. Having control of the chat, having it so that there's no excessive trolling. People are not allowed to make new clone accounts and come in here every 5 seconds. And basically spam the chat with trolling nonsense is amazing. Yesterday, we played Fallout, Fallout New Vegas, as well as MLB The Show. Those were two of the most fun interactive streams that I've had in the last month because of the subscriber-only mode. It helped a ton, like a ridiculous amount. And I was able to have a fun interactive MLB stream. Even though I was sucking ass at the game for 2 straight hours, I was actually able to have such a fun stream last night in MLB. Fun conversation and interaction, right? So it's great stuff. And I'm really happy about that. I'm happy that YouTube gave me the subscriber-only mode. I don't know why they did. All the information on the internet basically says it's in beta, and you had to apply for it, which I did not because I don't even know how. I just got it. So I don't know if someone from YouTube is actually following my streams and said, hey, here's a good opportunity to test the subscriber-only mode and see if it helps out this streamer or not. But man, it was a great day of streaming yesterday because of that. Now, admittedly, the stream chat moves slower because you don't have a bunch of trolls in here saying dumb shit. But that's fine. I'd much rather have a controllable, discernible, understandable, intelligent stream chat of people who are here to actually chill and have a good time rather than a bunch of assholes just spamming the chat constantly with filth. Okay? So, this is very good, and it was very, very good news. As long as we keep this forever, which I hope we do, I don't see why they would take it away, but it's really helped the streams immensely in the last day. Okay? Now, in addition to that, today I have a nice big announcement for those who are regulars and will be supporting the streams moving forward. I have added new animations for those who become channel members and new animations for those who use super chats or super stickers. As of this morning, if you are a new subscriber, a 2-month sub, a 3-month sub, a 6-month sub, a 1-year sub, or a 2-year sub, of course I'm saying sub and I mean member, it's going to take me a long time to get the terminology, okay? It's memberships here, paid memberships to the channel. So let me re-say that. If you're a new member, a 2-month member, a 3-month member, a 6-month member, a 1-year member, or a 2-year member, there will be a unique animation that will play for all of those. Some people will be coming up on their anniversary and becoming a 2-month member very soon. All right? So I'm curious to see how it'll work, or if it will work, or if it's screwed up, because the thing is, the way it works is that it's going to count how long you've been a member, and I don't know if it'll count, 2 months means it starts your 2nd month, or 2 month means actually you've been a member for 2 full months. I have to actually test and see when some of you guys start to renew your memberships within the next week to 2 weeks. I have to see what happens with the animations, and I can update those appropriately if I need to. But anyway, that's cool. These new pop-up animations for people who become members. Now, in addition to that, okay, I also have new animations for those who do super chats to support the channel. The animations are as follows: $1, $5, $10, and $20. All right, you've seen some of them, but 2 of them are actually animations that were newly added over on my Twitch channel right before they screwed everything up. So now we're going to actually start to see these animations regularly for people who are doing super chats, all right? Now, I don't know how it's going to work with currency conversions, because as you know, you can super chat in any denomination, whether it's US dollars or euros or pounds or Canadian dollars. I've seen many different, like, Asian currencies used for super chats. So I don't know how it's going to discern the value of the currency. But these animations should now play for these certain levels, all right? So obviously, if you'd like to see one of those, consider doing a super chat to support the channel, all right? Are we going to see these frequently? Probably not at first. As you guys know, right now my focus is tips. I need to raise as many tips as possible in the short term to pay bills, because I'm not getting paid by YouTube until the 3rd week of this month at the earliest. So I'm not going to make any kind of a focus on, oh, please super chat so we can see it or whatever. No, I'd rather say, please, if you can't tip me, continue to tip me. That's the best way to support the streams. I need the help in the short term. But long term, once we get to the point where YouTube pays me for this month, it's basically going to be fair game. And I know a lot of people will probably want to do super chats instead of tips, which is fine. And it'll be cool to see those animations as part of the stream now. It's actually kind of interesting. I have to split my efforts between Streamlabs and Stream Elements, which are 2 completely different services when it comes to live streaming animations. For some odd reason, I cannot get Stream Elements to work with YouTube. I've tried multiple times. It just doesn't work. Stream Elements is crapped out with YouTube. It will not play the animations at all. I don't know why, but it just won't do it. It has a queue, and the queue craps out and stops working. So because of that, I have to use Streamlabs to do all the animations for the super chats and everything. What I will do is, since now I know that Streamlabs is working with these memberships and super chats, I will eventually try to bring up a queue for those, so that, for example, during a live stream, I would be able to see all the contributions that come in, per se, and bring them up in a queue and give shout-outs after the fact. This is exactly what I do with tips. I have a queue for all the tips that come in, and it just shows them after the fact, so that if I miss a tip, I can go back and give a shout-out, in a minute, because sometimes I'm playing a game and I can't actively read every single tip that comes in, right? My problem is my laptop is a piece of shit. My laptop is insanely bad. It barely loads. So even just trying to get the laptop to load basic stuff barely ever works. So now trying to have multiple queues open on the laptop, I don't know how that's going to work. It might crap the whole damn thing out, quite frankly. So I guess we'll see. I'm going to try to actually open it right now and just test it today and see how it works, or if it craps my whole laptop out or not. Let's see. What would the queue be? It would be called... Oh, crap. What would this be called? It's not alert box. It's not all widgets. There's a page for it. It has a name to it. But I think that they've changed it. Let's see. No, what the hell is it called? It's not all widgets. It's not alert box things. It's not stream overlays. They changed the website. What the hell? What did they do? Streamlabs is different now. They actually changed. They used to have a page that tracked everything, and now that page is moved, or what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know where they put it. This kind of sucks. I don't want to do this, obviously, on pre-stream, but it would have been nice to have been able to track it today. Now I don't think I can track it. I think they've screwed it up. They moved shit around, and now it's just confusing. I can't find anything. What did they do? Oh, I think I just found it. Oh, they moved it to the main page. It's way under here now. Oh. Okay, can I pop this out? Yes. Alright. Cool. Alright, this is good. I figured it out. So there you go. Gin Knights just did a $2 super chat and said massive snorts, and throat clears. That's correct. My allergies are bothering me. I actually sneezed twice today. Twice. And it screwed me all up. So my sinuses are all screwed up because of this. It sucks, obviously. I don't want. So let's see. I can have this be. I can get rid of bits. So it'll be members and super chats. There we go. That's exactly what I want to see. All right, this is good. So I have a new queue. I have 2 queues now. I have 1 queue that will track super chats and memberships. I have another queue that will track tips. And then I have your stream chat on my screen. So this is, I told you guys it was going to be slow progress, right? It definitely has been. It's been a month now where I've been trying to get these YouTube streams going. Here we are a month later, and it seems like we're kind of finally getting back to a semblance of how it was over on Twitch. Okay? Finally. We've got animations for all kinds of contributions, right? We've got sub-only mode, which is the equivalent of members-only mode, and now it looks like I'm actually able to properly track all contributions. Holy crap. Snowcrawl just said I hit 191,000 subs. Is that true? Did I actually hit the 191,000 sub mark? I finally topped 190,000 subs. If so, that's cool. I'm not aware of that. I haven't really looked. But if so, that's pretty cool. Jen Black says, can I say no? No, I can't say no. Yes, I can. Obviously, I just did. All right. So anyway, guys, we're basically making progress here on YouTube streams, right? Every day looks like there's a little bit of improvement, a little bit of better stuff. We got new pre-stream art, we got new animations, we got sub-only mode. Now I can track your contributions. There you go. Now it's a Gin Night. Did another $2 super chat says I'm blocked from tipping, moron. Well, if you're blocked from tipping, it's because you're an asshole. I only block assholes from tipping. So if you're blocked from tipping, it's because you're a complete idiot. Congratulations, it's a Gin Night for being a complete moron. And then doing a super chat on top of that because you're an idiot. Very nice. All right, so anyway, guys. This is good. This is all good news, right? Improvements. And the good news is this is all lining up in time for the big release on Friday. Let's face it, the biggest release in a long time. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on Friday, right? I would say, arguably, this year, there's been 2 releases. Resident Evil Village, and now Ratchet & Clank. Like, seriously, there really haven't been many high-profile releases this year. Games like Returnal, for me, just were kind of underwhelming. So, really, this is like the second really major release that I'm looking forward to this year. And I'm excited for it on Friday, obviously. Speaking of which, I guess we should go through the schedule, shall we? So that you guys know what to expect. All right. So today, ladies and gentlemen, the main gameplay stream is the continuation of Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition. All right. This game, I really don't remember at all, which was apparent when I played it last time, and I was like, what is going on? I don't remember this. Like, I seriously, for some reason, don't remember Mass Effect 3 at all. I do remember 1 or 2 points. I remember at one point, I think you're on a planet, and you're teaming up with the Krogans, and you have to fight one of those giant Thresher Maw things. It like bursts out of the ground, and you have to shoot it. And I remember at the end of the game, the final push through the streets, I think it's Earth. You're like the streets of Earth, fighting endless waves of the enemies, and then you finally get to the stupid beacon thing. What is it, the conduit or something? And then you have to choose your ending or whatever. Like, I remember all of that, and that's about all I remember. I don't remember anything of the game. I don't know why I don't remember the game at all. Seriously, I have no recollection of, like, why. It seems to me like in 2012, when this game came out. By the way, this was like March 2012 when Mass Effect 3 came out. This was one of the busiest times of my life being a content creator. At the time, think about all the stuff that I was juggling. Not only was I putting out gameplay full-time every day, 8 to 10 hours of gameplay I was pumping out on my YouTube channel, DSPGaming. I was also juggling fighting game stuff. At that point, I was still trying to cover fighting games in some capacity. I wasn't necessarily traveling to tournaments constantly, but I was still juggling fighting game stuff. At the same time, I was also working on Project 7, so I was, working with those guys to meet and write and film. So I had that going on. And at that time in 2012, I was actually also traveling and going to conventions and the like. that was actually one of the busiest years I ever had. That was the year that I went to many conventions. So it wasn't just, oh, Phil's making YouTube videos and playing video games back then. It was like Phil's juggling 20 things. So I honestly don't even remember this game. It's so crazy to me. This is the third part, the culmination of a trilogy, and I can't remember any of this game. But let's be honest here, that's not a very good testament to the game then, right? I mean, admittedly, that probably means the game just wasn't very good. Or else you would think I would remember some of it, right? But apparently I don't. So I guess that means that it just wasn't very memorable, you know? Yeah, what are you going to do? So, we're going to continue with this today. Alright, I'm excited to continue this today and see what the hell it's all about and see how this story pans out, because I honestly don't even know what to expect. I don't know how long this game is. I don't remember. We're going to see together today. 3 hours or more of Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition. Okay? Should be a good time, especially because it'll be like for the first time actually experiencing this game in a lot of cases. Okay? Later tonight, the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be... Oh, shit, I just punched my microphone viciously. A huge left hook. I'm very sorry, everyone. That's probably loud. I didn't mean to do that. Let me fix this. There we go. Okay. Later tonight at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's the return of Divinity Original Sin 2. I don't know how this is going to go. I haven't played it in a few weeks. Last time around, it was an epic boss fight that was a pain in the ass. I did win it. But, man, this game is just an annoying grind. And if not knowing exactly how to win each fight, it's just a pain in the ass. You have to do the fights multiple times now. At least this was a major story development last time I played. But now I actually don't know where to go or what to do next. Okay? That's the late stream. I hope you guys will join me for that. And if you know Divinity 2, I hope you'll help me. Because if I don't have help, I doubt I'm ever going to make progress in this game. In which case, I don't see how the playthrough can progress. So I hope you'll join me later tonight for that. I hope. Alright? Tomorrow, I'm going to play more Fallout New Vegas on the first stream. It's been determined that after playing it yesterday, you guys really like this playthrough and want to see more of it. So that's going to be the major gameplay stream tomorrow. Tomorrow night, it's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, my weekly late night session of it. Alright, so I hope that you will join me for that tomorrow night. Then on Friday, it's the big day. On Friday, it's the premiere of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, the PlayStation 5 exclusive. 1080p, 60 frames per second quality for the first time for a PS5 game. I'm excited to be covering it at launch at full quality. It's going to be a great time. Then, Friday night, it's my weekly throwback Street Fighter session. On Saturday, it will be more Ratchet & Clank. And Saturday night will be Danganronpa V3. Sunday, I am covering E3. I'm going to be watching the Microsoft Bethesda press conference live with you guys. What we'll do is we'll all be watching it on the internet together, and I'll have a stream chat live here so we can join and talk about it together while it's going down. Okay? And then after it ends, I'm going to do a recap and reaction stream where I summarize everything we just saw and give you my opinions on it. Then at 12:15 p.m., there's a Square Enix press conference, which we're going to do the same thing. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how long the Microsoft Bethesda conference is. To me, it's very odd that they're doing this conference and then, like, it seems like almost immediately after there's the Square Enix. There may not be time for me to actually do my recap reactions right after it. It may be we watch it, and then there's only like a half an hour. That's not enough time, right? Maybe I'll just go live and talk with you guys briefly, and then we'll watch Square Enix together. Then maybe after Square Enix ends, then I'll do my recap reactions of both. We'll see. Okay? But we'll see how it goes. I always do this for E3, but this year E3 is completely disjointed. The conferences are weird times and everything. So that's how I'm covering Sunday. We'll see how it goes. All right. On Sunday, if I do my recap reactions and we have extra time, I'll probably do some Call of Duty and play that till like 4 p.m. Pacific time, because that's usually when I finish streaming. Then Sunday night, I'm going to do a 2-hour late night session of Virtua Fighter 5 where I'm going to continue to try to use the Drunken Master Shun Di and try to, learn more of his stuff. I only got to play with him a couple hours the other day, and I want to use more. I want to use him more. So we're going to do that Sunday night. Okay? And then Monday is my day off from streaming. Just so you guys know. Now, that's the deal. Now, some people are like, well, Phil, on Saturday, Ubisoft has their press conference. Why aren't you covering that? Well, because it's fucking Ubisoft. Listen, I'm going to be playing Ratchet & Clank. I'm going to want to play a lot of Ratchet & Clank because it's a brand new game. Okay? It's a brand new game. I want it's a console exclusive, hyped game. Everyone's saying it's one of the best games in recent memory. I want to play the game. I don't give a fuck about Ubisoft Forward. I'm serious. I just don't care. I'll watch it myself offline, and then I'll give you my opinions on it over the course of the week. And like I said, at the end of this coming week, not this week right now, but next week after E3 and everything's over, then I will do a kind of podcast special where I will recap all the good stuff and bad stuff from both Summer Games Fest and E3 to let you know what I feel is the best and worst of all the stuff that was discussed that week, okay? But I'm sorry, I'm not going to hold off on playing this big, giant new release that I'm dying on playing because Ubisoft wants to do their fucking press conference on Saturday. And let's face it, let's be very honest about this. Typically, Ubisoft is one of the most underwhelming press conferences every single year. Usually, you get a little bit of information about an Assassin's Creed game. You'll get a little bit of an information about a Far Cry game. Maybe a little bit about Watch Dogs. And then it's a bunch of garbage you don't care about. And it's a waste of everyone's time. It really is. The Ubisoft conference typically is 95% boring time wasting. And maybe a couple little snippets of information that you actually care about. Okay? So, I just don't really care about covering their press conference at this point. It maybe if the last couple of years they've been good, but they just have not been good in a long time. I want to play Ratchet and Clank. I'd rather do that than sit there and watch their conference. Okay? So, that's the deal. That's my schedule for the week. Now, next week, it'll be a balance between Ratchet and Clank, Mass Effect 3, and Fallout New Vegas as the main gameplay streams. Okay? Then, the night streams will continue on with all the chill stuff we've been doing. I'll make a determination of whether I want to continue certain chill streams or not. Like, for example, last night, MLB. I sucked shit at that game. I did so badly at it. But people were just happy to see a late night stream where we were able to interact return. Like, because of the sub-only mode, we were able to have fun conversation, have a really good time. And it just seemed to me like people didn't care about the game, right? People just literally did not give a shit about what game I was playing. They were just very happy to see me interact with you guys constantly and be able to do that without interruption of trolls, right? So maybe I should do it once a week. I don't know. I got to think about it, all right? But also I'm going to be playing more Virtua Fighter 5. So you see, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on for these games that I'm covering. So it's going to be busy, even with not many new releases this month. It's going to be a very busy streaming month, okay? It's going to be good stuff regardless, so. All right, so anyway, guys, that's the deal. That is the schedule for the next week. I hope that sounds good to you, okay? It's going to be a fun time. Now, just a quick reminder before we get into the news, because I've got a lot to talk about in regards to Battlefield 2042 this morning. I hope you guys are ready for me to give you my opinion and vent a little bit, all right? Excuse me. Let's talk in a moment. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we have all these new animations in place. So basically, no matter how you contribute, whether you tip me, whether you become a channel member, whether you do a super chat or super sticker, you will get a pop-up thank you message on the screen, and I will give you a shout out as long as you're not doing something that's negative. For example, Full Screen No did 2 super chats, a $1 one and then a $2 one, and said do it. No, I'm not going to do that just because you asked for. Oh shit, never mind. Anyway, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the support. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the best way to support this channel right now is to tip me, and I need major support with tips for the next week and a half to 2 weeks until I get paid by YouTube for all your contributions over the course of May. All right, the way it works on YouTube is that you guys will do super chats, you guys will become a member, and I'll make ad revenue. All that gets totaled up at the end of the month, and then I get paid for that around the 3rd week of the next month. That's how it's going to work on YouTube, okay? The good news is, once this starts rolling in monthly, I'll be back to kind of where I was on Twitch. Consistent monthly income from YouTube paired with daily tips income that you guys will give me on the streams, and I should be back to normal. Right now, though, the only income that I'm getting is from your tips. And in the next week, I have to pay, listen to this, 2 condo dues payments, my internet bill, my mortgage, and my back taxes payment for the month. If I don't pay all those, I'm overdue, and now it screws me over. You know, any of those things could negatively affect the streams, could negatively affect a lot of stuff. So, not that I'm going to get into the specifics of how much it all is and everything, but what I will tell you is this. I need help with tips, all right? I understand a lot of you are excited. A lot of you are like, oh, I want to contribute in any way. I want to see animations and stuff. I appreciate however you contribute. I really do. But right now, the best way to help me is by tipping me. I need to raise as much in tips as possible over the next week to 2 weeks to pay all of these bills. Once we get to the point where YouTube pays me for this month, then things are going to get back to a semblance of normalcy. I'm going to lower the tip skulls back to what they used to be at $100 a stream, and we're going to basically get back into the swing of things the way that it was all along on Twitch, all right? Finally, after 2 months of bullshit, we'll be able to go back to the way it was after Twitch screwed me over and caused all this chaos, okay? So, please support the stream by tipping if you can, all right? Last night, the MLB stream was outstanding. We hit the tip skull for the first time since Friday, and it's been very scarce that we've been hitting this tip skull, all right? So, please, if you can tip, how do you tip? If you look at the description of this stream, there's a link you can click on, or you can type !tip into the stream chat, and the bot, Nightbot, will post up the link by which you can tip, all right? Please do if you can. Thank you in advance to anyone who does. I really appreciate any support of any kind, but the tipping is really how I need help right now, okay? Fair enough? Thank you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about Battlefield. This morning, the big reveal. Oh, my God. Oh, Battlefield 2042. Yes, Battlefield 2042. So original, because, you know, they had Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2142. So let's do the middle. Battlefield 2042. Very original. It's really not. It's kind of uninspired, quite frankly. Now, let me talk about Battlefield. When I first started as a content creator 13 years ago, Battlefield had quite a few games. There was Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2. There was another one, too, and I can't remember which one this was. But there was one where you were just, it was like a World War II setting. And then there was Battlefield 3. So I played a lot of Battlefield games early on in my time as a content creator, exclusively as a YouTuber. I thought the franchise was good. I didn't think it was the best, but I definitely thought that it was a good competitor to Call of Duty, and it allowed the franchises to try to compete with each other pretty much on a yearly basis, and it inspired a lot of competition and improvement among the franchises, right? Then Battlefield 4 came out, and Battlefield 4 on the Xbox 360 and PS3 were absolutely god-awful, but on the next-gen consoles of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the game was amazing. I played Battlefield 4 a ton, and I even told you guys that year, I felt Battlefield 4 was way better than the yearly iteration of Call of Duty that year. I just thought it was so much more fun of a game. The graphics, remember there was the destroyable environments? You could blow up the buildings and shit. I loved Battlefield 4, right? I thought it was amazing. Well, then a couple years later, Battlefield 1 came out, and I was very skeptical. I was like, what? Battlefield 1? Why are they naming it? Why are we going backwards in time? And it ended up taking place during World War I. And quite frankly, it wasn't very good. It was just kind of meh. I played it a bit. I thought it was alright. I even teamed up with a few people online a few times for lobbies and stuff. I thought it was okay, but I just felt the game had a lot of limitations being set in World War I. I don't think it was a very good game. By the time Battlefield 5 came out, I had no confidence in the franchise, and I adopted this wait-and-see attitude. And boy, am I glad that I waited, because everyone hated the game. They felt that Battlefield 5 was like the worst one ever, and I didn't play it, and I apparently missed nothing. Like, no one said, oh, Phil, you really missed out. In fact, people were the opposite, like, wow, you really dodged a bullet not playing Battlefield 5, because that game really sucked ass. Okay? So, all that being said, Battlefield hasn't had a very good track record recently. The last 2 games were not well received, and Call of Duty basically kind of was applauded as the better FPS game both years that those games released. That's unfortunate. Again, I like having competition. I like having it that 2 franchises are kind of head-to-head, and they force themselves to improve. When you don't have competition, what happens is you get stagnation, and I hate to say it, that's pretty much exactly what has happened with Call of Duty. If you look over the last, like, 5 years, Call of Duty is the only competitive first-person shooter that really comes out anymore, outside of these battle royale team-based games, like Apex Legends and shit. really Call of Duty is the only one with any kind of semblance of first-person shooter multiplayer. There's no more Halo, there's no more Battlefield, there's no more of these yearly franchises that used to compete. And because of that, it's like, well, you play Call of Duty or you play nothing. And if you actually take a look at the content creators who exclusively play first-person shooter games, they've actually really been burnt out over the last 2 years, where most of them have been forced to essentially just play Warzone constantly because there's nothing else going on with first-person shooters right now, and they're all burnt out on Warzone. Like, literally, they're all like, oh my god, Warzone sucks, there's a new glitch, there's a new person hacking, there's a new this, there's a new that. You can see it on social media constantly. The content creators are very upset with how Call of Duty has gone the past couple of years, okay? So this morning, they announced Battlefield 2042, okay? So what is it? Well, it's a multiplayer-only game. There's no single-player content in this game at all. If you don't have online, you can't play the game. It's only multiplayer gameplay. At launch, the game will have, I believe they said, 7 ginormous maps. They're claiming these are like some of the biggest maps ever in a first-person shooter. On purpose, you know, they want you to have these fun experiences because the maps are so huge. They want it to really feel like a unique gameplay experience. That's cool. On next-gen consoles, which is PS5, Xbox One, and PC, 128-player multiplayer. On PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, only 64-player multiplayer. Okay? Interesting. No Battle Royale at launch. Although they are saying they are planning to add it at a future date, it will not have Battle Royale at launch. Okay? Lots of vehicles, lots of chaotic combat. That's pretty much what we've come to know from the Battlefield franchise. And it will be sold for a full $60 retail price tag on last-gen consoles. It will be sold for a whopping $70 on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Okay? So, right out of the box, I have some things to say about this. Okay? First of all, 128-player multiplayer sounds great if it works. And what I mean by that is, I have played these games that have giant multiplayer, and they don't always work very well. A lot of the times, you end up in just chaos. Every time you spawn, there's a million people shooting from a million directions. You can't even take your bearings or figure out what's going on. It's very hard to figure out how to rally and get to an objective when you have a million people in all directions firing everywhere, or when you have 10 different spawn points on the map. Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? You know, I've found that a lot of cases, these games that have these giant multiplayer maps, I prefer playing on the smaller versions. Maybe that's just me and my personal preference, but, you know, I've been there with these giant maps, and they're not exactly the most fun at all. In fact, what I found is performance-wise, usually that's where you get the choppiness of performance. The frame rate dips, and the game doesn't run very well on the bigger maps with the more players. So, that very well might not be the case. You know, we're talking about a new console generation now, PS5 and Xbox Series S, maybe S and X. Maybe it won't happen, but I'm just being a little skeptical because I've played these games that say, oh, the most ginormous multiplayer experience ever, and then when you play it, it's just incredibly chaotic. You can't figure out what the fuck's going on. It's not fun to play, and then also the performance of the game dips dramatically, so it's kind of like, is this really a selling point, right? I don't know. I would think the vehicle combat will be fun. It always is usually in Battlefield. Usually if you can grab a tank, grab a Jeep with a mounted gun, someone jumps on the gun, or you're flying around in a freaking jet, it's usually a lot of fun. So I definitely could see that being pretty interesting. But man, do I have two strong criticisms of this game. First of all, the content that it's going to have at launch. No Battle Royale, even though Battle Royale has literally been the thing to make first-person shooters pertinent in the last 2 to 3 years. Games like Apex Legends, right? I mean, we just had, what is it? What's the one that just came out? I can't remember the name of it. But, the last 3 years. Warzone. These are the things that have made first-person shooters pertinent. And the fact that this game will not have Battle Royale at launch seems to me to be a ginormous oversight. I don't know what they're thinking. You know that Battle Royale, even though I'll admit it's a fad, I think it's a fad. I think that, for a while on PC it was all the rage. Then the PC Battle Royale games died out, and it all became all about the consoles, right? Oh, I have Call of Duty having it and everything. But to me, like, I can't imagine why they didn't put that in there. You know? I just don't get it. You would think that would have sold tons of copies of this game if it had Battle Royale, and they just didn't put it in at launch. That to me blows my mind. But then on top of that, no single player campaign, which is something that Battlefield, is hit or miss on. I would say sometimes Battlefield's campaigns are quite good, and other times they're not so good. It really depends on the situation. So if you remember a couple Battlefields ago, there was tons of controversy because there's a campaign with a woman, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm really sure that the women were the heads of squads in like World War II and shit like that. People always criticizing the validity of the stuff going on in these games these days. But to me, single player content, okay? Single player content is a selling point for me. I'll tell you why. Because when you buy a first-person shooter in the modern era, you don't know if you're getting a surefire good game or not. You could be getting a game that's really fun and you play it for months on end, or you could get a stinker. Like, I've experienced both, right? With Modern Warfare, I thought the campaign was pretty good. I did not like the multiplayer, and I dropped it within a few months. But at least I had a single-player campaign to play through and give me some content for my dollar. With Black Ops Cold War, the campaign was good, and the multiplayer's been outstanding, where I've gotten a ridiculous amount of replayability out of the game. So, again, your mileage may vary dependent on the year and dependent on the version of the game you're buying. But at least for me, having that campaign as a backup means that when I'm dropping $60, or in this case with Battlefield 2042, $70, at least I know if I hate the multiplayer, I will at least have something to do with the game. It's not, well, now this game is dead, just delete it, I wasted $70. Now, look, I very much know, very, very much know that the vast majority of people who play first-person shooters are playing them for competitive purposes, whether it's Battle Royale or the multiplayer or both. I know that, okay? But you have to understand that's not the entirety of the player base, and you have installed an expectation into the minds of players that a single-player campaign is to be expected, okay? It's just a commonplace thing when you buy a first-person shooter these days. Every single first-person shooter has one. In fact, we even have a frame of reference. Just a few years ago, Black Ops 4 came out with no single-player campaign, right? It had zombies, it had standard multiplayer, and it had Black Ops 4 Blackout, right? And I was highly critical of it not having a campaign. Lucky for me, I didn't really like the multiplayer that much, but I really enjoyed Black Ops 4 Blackout, and I got a ton of content and a ton of use out of the game, so I felt like, man, that purchase was warranted and justified, even though there was no single-player campaign, okay? I don't know about Battlefield 2042. I'm very skeptical. I am. Because there's no Battle Royale, and there's no campaign. So it's kind of like make or break, is the multiplayer good or not? But here's the thing that I have to say, okay? Here's the thing that I have to say. If this game doesn't have 2 out of the 3 common game modes that all other first-person shooters have, okay, they should not be charging full price for this game. That's my firm belief. If they can't put out the same content as every other major studio who's pumping out first-person shooters, Activision with Call of Duty, then they should not be charging the same amount of money. Right? They just shouldn't. It should be, okay, there's no campaign, no Battle Royale, it's multiplayer only. All right, it's $40. Then I would say that's justified. But you're charging full price for a game that only has essentially a third of the content of other games that are your direct competitors. And here's the other thing. A lot of people were speculating this game would be on Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass day one. It's not. After today's reveal trailer, it's not included with Game Pass. They want you to buy this fucking game full price at launch. It's not a Game Pass game. So there's no excuse for this. You're literally releasing a game with a third of the content for full price. That's what really is irking me about this, right? Now, it very well could be that Battlefield 2042's multiplayer is some of the best we've ever seen in a first-person shooter. We're all blown away, and it doesn't matter, and we all buy it and love it. And I would be very pleased if that were the case. I'll be very honest with you guys. This last year, playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I had a ton of fun with the game. I was very pleased with the fact that I got such validity out of my purchase. And quite frankly, if Battlefield 2042 is good and actually makes direct competition with Call of Duty this year, I would love that. Because that would make Call of Duty improve. You know, every year I've been complaining about Call of Duty. Man, why is it that the connections are so hit or miss? Even when the gameplay gets tweaked to be better or worse, the fucking servers always have issues. One game's amazing, no lag. The next game is like you're underwater. I just don't understand what the fuck is wrong with Activision, why they can't get their act together when it comes to the server performance. It's because they have no competition. When you have no competition and you're the only one in the business, why would you ever improve? Everyone either has to buy your game or not play a competitive first-person shooter. So why in the holy hell would they improve, right? So I have to say, yeah, that's kind of the deal here, is they really don't feel like they have to do anything. If Battlefield steps up to the plate this year and says, here's a really good outing, then they're going to have to start working on it again, right? And that'll be a good thing. It's always good to have competition, okay? So for me, I am very skeptical of Battlefield 2042 because they're charging me $70. $70, man, for a game that has zero track record of being good since Battlefield 4, which was one console gen ago. This was the launch of PS4, was the last game they put out that was good. So that's not a good track record. It would be like, okay, if the last two games were good, maybe I would have some faith. You know, this is basically a test for them to put out a good game, and asking people to pay $60 to $70 for a game that's just multiplayer, that's a huge gamble. So I don't know what's going to happen. What I would hope is that over the course of this summer, all right, they will have some betas or something so we can at least test the game and see what it's like. Because my God, to ask people to go in cold turkey and buy this game with zero information, and, you know, that's going to be a tough one, a tough sell. So let's see what happens, all right? But, by the way, release date, right now, as of right now, October 22nd, 2021. So it's going to come out late October, right in the midst of the thick of things of all the other hot releases that'll be coming out. You know there's going to be a Call of Duty iteration around that time that's going to be coming out to compete. So, again, it's going to be a tough sell for people to drop that much money in a season when you're going to have all these other games you're competing against, right? And, you know, people have to pick and choose what they're going to be spending their money on. I don't know about this one. I'm very skeptical. Again, I want it to be good. I want it to compete with Call of Duty. I'm tired of Call of Duty being the only game in town for competitive first-person shooters, and then you have to put up with their bullshit. I want competition. So I hope they succeed. We'll find out. Timbo Slice actually said they're going to show off the first real gameplay during the Microsoft press conference on Sunday morning. Fair enough. We'll see it together. We'll judge for ourselves, right? Good. Okay. You know, I swear there was another story, but I've completely forgotten it because I started reading all the Battlefield news this morning. And it distracted me from everything else, and I don't remember what the other story was that I wanted to talk about today. I'll briefly glance here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Let's see. Nah, I don't think I'm seeing anything. No. All right. So I guess that's about it. Let's get to shout-outs. Excuse me. First of all, thank you, Snow Carl. Hold on a second here. Yeah, Snowcrawl did a couple tips, but I just got another tip, but did it pop up? Did you guys just see a pop-up on the stream? I didn't see a pop-up on the stream, right? I'm going to have to verify this one because this one doesn't seem to have a pop-up. That was weird. I'm actually confused, just kind of scratching my head right now about there was no pop-up for that one. That's odd. Let me do the Snow Carl shout-outs, and then I'm going to check on this tip, and we'll go from there. So, Snow Carl was the first tipper of the day with a $1.30 tip, and he says, on the Retail topic, I actually went to a nice clothing store today. I was pleasantly surprised by amazing staff who had great suggestions. They were very well educated and felt well paid. Maybe the U.S. isn't different, or your patronage is to cheaper stores. See, sadly, Snowcrawl, I hate to say it, if you're not in the U.S., you're probably not getting the same experience. In the U.S., things have very much declined over the last 10 to 15 years in retail. Like, let me give you some perspective, all right? When I first started working at Circuit City, now this was when I was actually in college, okay? So we're talking almost 20 years ago. When I first started working there, all the employees were educated and smart about the products they were selling because guess what? They were on a commission-based sales. So you wanted to know what the hell you were doing. You wanted to make sure that the customer was satisfied, and you also, of course, wanted to try to make attachments and other things on there to make money because you had incentive to do the right thing because you would actually make extra money if you did so. Okay? During the course of the time that I worked for Circuit City, it converted over from a commission base to a hourly based pay. And literally what I saw happen over the 2 to 3 years that I was at Circuit City, I saw all the educated employees say this isn't worth it anymore and leave. And they hired an uneducated, basically just walking off the street kind of workforce who were just taught the basics of what you need to know about a product. And it was a night and day change. And all retail in the United States has basically become this. Instead of paying people to know what they're doing and actually be educated, even the managers of these stores don't have any education. Go walk into your local Best Buy and ask the manager of the store if he has a management degree, if he went to college for it. No, it doesn't exist. Seriously, like, these people are all uneducated people. They're paid dirt, by the way. These people are not well paid. They're low pay, low skilled workers. They just try to hire anyone to put a butt in a seat and make it seem like the store is staffed, regardless of the fact that they even fucking can help a customer. It's not good. Now, I'm sure there's some stores that are different, and especially if it's not a big chain, if it's a more locally owned small business, you might find the exact opposite because small businesses are trying to compete in a major way and say, hey, maybe you come buy something from us, things are a little bit more expensive, but we know our shit. You come in here, we're going to tell you everything about what you're looking to buy, whether it's clothing, whether it's electronics, whatever it is. The small businesses, that's how they try to stay afloat here in the United States. But the big chains, man, 9 times out of 10, if you walk into any big chain and you ask a question, if you just did basic searching on Google, you will have more knowledge than the person who works in the store. This is especially pertinent hardware stores. If you go into like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, oh my God. Good luck even finding someone to talk to. Oh, I have a question about making some paint. You'll stand there for 40 minutes before someone even asks you if you need help. That's how it is in the United States. Understaffed, underpaid, undereducated. That's how retail works in the United States. At least for now. Maybe things will change. I don't know if the pandemic will actually change anything. But man, I just, I guess we'll see. But, it is what it is. And, that's just the situation here. Maybe where you live, it's completely different. Okay? Snowcrawl to another $1.30. He says, quick question. I appreciate your LGBTQ pre-stream banner. Did you write it yourself or was it ghostwritten by a fan? Did you commission it or was it a fan's initiative? I don't commission anything. All right? I just don't. My fans and viewers make all the artwork for my streams and then I approve it and or I give suggestions to tweak it. So any art that you see on my stream, I don't just slap it on there. I usually look at it myself. I read the wording. I say, oh, is this something I agree with or disagree with? There's actually people who have submitted artwork recently that I said, nah, that doesn't sound like something that I would want on my stream or, stuff like that. Or can we improve it to make it this or that? But yeah, I hand approve. I didn't write all that wording word for word, but I did approve that message before I put it on my stream. I know. I usually don't put stuff like that on my streams. So I think a lot of people are skeptical of it. Oh, Phil doesn't really read that. No, of course I approve that message. My streams, ladies and gentlemen, are meant to be a place where everyone can feel safe and everyone can have a good, relaxing time with games, period. That's the reason why I stream. You guys know that, right? Like, that's why I want to stream. So you guys have a place where you feel like you can enjoy games and you can hang out with me and we can have a fun, safe atmosphere. And everyone is welcome here. I have always been a supporter and a proponent of LGBTQ, the fact that I believe everyone has the right to be happy in life and to feel like they're welcomed, they're safe, they can be themselves. I even said, and boy did I get shit for when I said it, I said a while back, if you follow the science, actual scientific fact, you will find that when we are all conceived as humans, we all start with certain genes, right? And then those genes have a tendency to change one way or the other to make us male or female. And it's been scientifically proven that there can be mix-ups, that there can be issues with that, you know? And I would not be shocked if someone is born a male or a female and then feels like they're the opposite. That's scientifically proven that it could happen. But people don't want to believe that. They want to have this very closed-minded attitude. They have these religious purposes for why they believe that this can't happen. I just don't get that. To me, it's very simple. I follow science, and I follow my own life philosophy of everyone has a right to be happy and feel at home in their own skin and feel safe no matter where they go. No one should be persecuted for being different. No one should be feeling like they have to conform to a societal norm just because they're told to. I want everyone on this planet to be able to have a happy life because they all deserve it, all right? Now, of course, when you go to extremes, no. If being happy means that you slaughter people in the streets because that's what makes you happy, no. That should not be allowed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying within reason, people have no right to judge people for feeling one way or the other, for wanting to be one gender or the other, or you know what I mean? It's just no fucking problems with any of it with me. I've never had that issue. I've always been a supporter of gay marriage. I've been a supporter of all these things. I don't understand why people are so close-minded. What right do you have to tell someone else they don't have the right to be happy just because you have some closed-minded opinion based on religion or based on you were told this when you were growing up? What the fuck are you talking about? Who made you the judgment of society? Right? Seriously. Then this has always been my opinion. Always. It's never changed. It's just I don't talk about it frequently on streams because when the hell would that ever come up, right? But I just want you guys to understand that, okay? That you have the right to be happy in life. At least that's my opinion, and I support that. I want people to feel comfortable. I want people to feel safe, especially on my streams. That's what I strive to do. So that's why we have rules in effect. That's why we don't allow mass bullying and assholes being dicks to people. You know, I've had to put down my foot over the years many different times, even with my own moderation staff, and it is what it is. You know, it's okay if you disagree with me. It's okay if you disagree with me. But do not come in here and try to enforce your own beliefs or your own bigoted opinions on others. This is a safe space for everyone. So everything that it says on that slide about Pride Month absolutely is 100% true when it comes to me and my streams and my content. And I want everyone to understand that. If you have an issue with that, well, perhaps you should go to a very different kind of stream, all right? And by the way, not that there's going to be massive discussion about this really ever on my streams. It's, you know, this is not something that we talk about, okay? It's not. We're here to play games and have fun. That's what it's all about, all right? But please understand that, you know, that is my opinion, and I have a right to it. And I want to say, yes, my streams are a safe place for that, for everyone. They are. Okay? There you go. All right, let us continue. And by the way, here's a complete moron who now, this is good. This is good when I get to ban a bunch of people who are just being bigoted idiots. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for stepping up to the plate and showing how stupid you are. I love it. All right, so now what I need to do, I need to take a quick look and verify a tip that came in because like I said, for some odd reason, I don't think there was a pop-up on the stream for it. And it confuses me when that happens because there's certain people who it seems like the pop-ups don't show up, but there's others that they do. I don't know. Let me take a quick look. Take a quick look here. Now you know it's legit, so I don't know why the pop-up didn't show up. So ladies and gentlemen, this is obviously incredibly good news. I received a $100 tip from Andre the DJ this morning. He says, Gunner glasses and vest time, and have a nice day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andre the DJ, for the support. Very nice. That's a huge tip, And yes, that gets us a ginormous head start on the stream. For some reason, you have a capital N in your name. Very good. And, well, actually, there's more tips that came in after, so he wouldn't be the last tip. I'll edit that in a second. Thank you, Andre. So that means, yes, Gunner glasses and a vest as we start with today's gameplay. Very nice. Alfred Aponte tipped me $2.30. Says, Phil, in my opinion, the Battlefield game is straight a rip-off cash grab. I don't know if it's a cash grab. They took 2 years to make it, but I just don't know if I have faith that it's going to be worth a full retail price when the last 2 games weren't so good, you know? The Real Two Changs has tipped me $1.30. Says, Phil, happy hump day. Happy hump day to you as well. Technically, would this be hump day for me? No. No, my streaming week started on Monday. So actually, today is not hump day for me, right? Because I work, well, I'm working, actually, I'm doing 7 straight days of streaming. Today's only the 3rd. So I guess technically tomorrow would be my hump day. Or I don't know. No. Yeah. I don't know. Who cares? Thank you for the tip. Timbo Slice tipped me $1.30. Says, are you a Meatloaf fan? If so, what is the one song that you go to, that your go-to with him? You know, the one song when I think Meatloaf is, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. That's the song that always jumps into my head when I think Meatloaf. I don't know why, because I know he's done other things. Like, what was that one? Something about the dashboard light, and Didn't You Do Bad Out of Hell was the name of that album that had a ton of good songs on it. But for some reason, I Would Do Anything for Love is the one that always jumps into my head. And I think the reason is that one actually had a music video during the 1990s when I was growing up. And it was on TV, on MTV and VH1 constantly. So it's like ingrained in my fucking head. I can't, you know, it's the one, you say Meatloaf, immediately I start hearing him singing it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, anything else? Or shall we take a break here? And, you know, I'll use the restroom and then we get started for Mass Effect 3. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? I think I've covered everything I want to talk about today. So, it's really any questions. You guys have any lingering things to talk about before we get started? No? DSPGaming, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Aha. Andre the DJ did another $4.20 tip. Yes, thank you, Andre the DJ, for another tip. And for this one, the pop-up did work. So he's as confused as I am as why the pop-up didn't work. That's really weird. I don't know. It seemed like, in general, the pop-ups work almost all the time, but then every once in a while they don't. Well, in this case, it worked, Andre, so thank you for the tip. Home Day Phil tipped me $1.30 and said, every day is home day when I'm married. Well, there you go. If you say so. And Eternal Napalm tipped me $1.30 and says, for me, I'm excited to see updates on Elden Ring, Forspoken, Horizon Forbidden West, Avowed, and Metroid Prime 4. Super pumped. Yeah, I get the feeling there's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming up the next couple of days. I said this. I said this week's going to be very hype. I'm not going to be watching it all live, but I'll be, you know, trying to watch some of this stuff back and talk about it on my streams. Like I said, I will be doing a recap at the end of not this week, but next week, where I will summarize everything that happened, not only at Summer Games Fest, but at E3, and try to do like one place where I talk about all the stuff that I think is good and bad, all in once, all right? So that's coming, but for me, I'm not going to sit here and cover every press conference. I'd rather play the new games, you know? As a streamer, I feel like that's better use of my time. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. All right? I shall return after a few minutes here. Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition continuing. We're only about an hour and a half into it. We're just the intro segment. So I'm curious to see. I think we just hit the Citadel. We'll walk around the Citadel. We'll see what's to do on the Citadel and go from there. And it should be a good time. Thank you guys for a fun pre-stream. And I'll see you all in a little bit. All right. Thank you guys. See you in a bit.